Hello, dear fans, friends, and subscribers. Welcome to your favorite show, the Cricket Happening Show. And I have to say this. Can you imagine a question for you guys? Can you imagine a team which scores 595 runs, which is their second highest in their test history, and then yesterday on the final day they lose their way? Yes, they were crippled by Mushfiqur Rahim being hit by a bouncer. One can understand that. We know Mushfiqur Rahim, the Bangladesh captain, is a big fighter, but unfortunately couldn't play. And then Imrul Case also have a bit of a niggle. But to lose a match, after making 595 runs, I repeat, 595 runs in the first innings, and they went on to lose the match to New Zealand by 7 wickets. Now that is something which is very, very difficult to comprehend. But well, it happened. But cricket definitely has the habit of throwing something very unusual, and this was one of those instances that happened, and Bangladesh would be definitely looking into it on a very serious note as to what really went wrong there. So I'll be talking about that match where New Zealand actually won the first test match against Bangladesh by 7 wickets, with Kane Williamson scoring a very quick century, one could say, by standards. And also we'll have a look at some cricket news, other cricket news. But let us start off with this. We are talking about the first test between New Zealand and Bangladesh, and yesterday was the final day of the match. Bangladesh were the ones who were batting there, and they had they lost 4 wickets the previous day, and today it was the new batsman Shakib Al Hasan joining Mominul Haq. Now Shakib Al Hasan has always been guilty. He is the man who scored his maiden double century and is the most experienced player in the team, and he holds a lot of fan value. And one has seen that Shakib Al Hasan made this cardinal error of doing it against England, and Bangladesh paid dearly for that. Now it looks like Shakib Al Hasan has not really learnt his lessons, because yesterday, after blocking just 5 deliveries in the morning, he knew that Imrul Case is not fully fit, and Mushfiqur Rahim also has a problem with his hand. Why would someone with the experience of Shakib Al Hasan try to come down the wicket and have a wank at Santner absolutely at the start of the day? He could have settled down. Yes, one understands that Shakib Al Hasan made a double century, due credit to him, but one really didn't understand the thought behind Shakib Al Hasan, really attacking Mitchell Santner, and in the process, he put up a tame catch to Williamson, and I'm sure Williamson would have been surprised. And Shakib Al Hasan, to the dismay of all the Bangladeshi fans, was walking back to the pavilion in a dejected manner after bagging a duck. So that was the first salvo that New Zealand fired, and that was enough for them to spur them on to victory. So Shakib Al Hasan was gone, scored 66 for 4, and then we had Sabir Rahman coming in. Sabir Rahman, one thought, really played with lot of responsibility and maturity, which was good to see. And Mominul Haq, after making 23 runs, was a victim of a short delivery from Mominul Haq. From Neil Wagner. Mominul Haq was a victim of the bowling of Neil Wagner, as he got some short stuff served at him, and he was gone for 23 with 3 boundaries. So that made it 96 for 5, and then walked in. Sabir Rahman, as I said, was doing a good job. He was defending well. He was choosing the right balls to play his strokes, and as and when he was playing his strokes, it was really, one has to say, it was played with the utmost poise and confidence. Mushfiqur Rahim, the Bangladeshi captain, walked in. He already had an injured hand, but he walked in and one thought that probably this was the most crucial pair, if at all Bangladesh had to really get out of jail, and they were 96 for 5, and it's only 18 runs were added between Sabir Rahman and Mushfiqur Rahim, and this was something which should never happen in cricket, and that's what precisely happened. The bowler was Team Saudi. Mushfiqur Rahim, the Bangladesh captain, was at the crease. It was a short delivery from Team Saudi, and Mushfiqur Rahim took his eye off the ball, and in the process the ball actually came and hit the back of his helmet, I would say, but that really left him in lots of trouble as he collapsed on the ground itself, and then the medical emergency crew had to be rushed to the ground, and it was a very sad scene there, as Mushfiqur Rahim was really, one was really sad to see that happened. So that was a big blow for Bangladesh, there's no doubt about it, but there are no excuses for Bangladesh actually putting up such a dismal show. Mushfiqur Rahim was hit on the back, and then he was taken, and finally the good thing that happened is he's out of danger, which was good to learn. And Mushfiqur Rahim never played in this match, as he was retired not out on 13 with 1 boundary. And then we saw Imrul Case coming in to join Sabir Rahman, and Mushfiqur Rahim came in, and by the time we saw Trent Bolt actually get one of his real Yorker deliveries into the base of Taskin Ahmed's stumps, so he was gone ball by ball for 5 with 1 boundary, and out came Kamrul Islam Rabi. Kamrul Islam Rabi was a victim of the bowling of Saudi for 1, and Sabir Rahman was still at the crease, and Imrul Case had joined him. Well, Imrul Case, what he did best was he knew that he was not able to run, so whenever he got an opportunity, he was swinging the bat hard, and if it was striking the meaty portion of the bat, the ball was really flying to the boundary. And after that, it was Sabir Rahman. Now, Sabir Rahman, till such time, he had Imrul Case for company, and we know that Imrul Case, yes, definitely he was in some strife, no doubt about it. He was limping, and he came only because of Bangladesh. But one does not understand that Sabir Rahman suddenly, after playing a very good knock, I thought, under the circumstances, a very sensible knock of 50 with 9 fours, one does not know what really went into him, as Sabir Rahman went and flashed at a wide delivery going outside the off stump, and in the process nicked it to wattling behind the stumps, and finally it was Trent Bolt who had another Yorker absolutely swinging in and uprooting the stumps of Subhashis Roy, and that was the end of the Bangladeshi innings, with Mushfiqur Rahim not able to bat, and they were 160 all out. Imrul Case remained not out on 36 with 5 fours and 1 6, and thus the Kiwis were set a target of 217 runs for victory, and one was really waiting to watch what really happened. The bowling figures, Trent Bolt bowled superbly. His Yorkers were absolutely, I would say, for the tailenders, it was absolutely at pinpoint Yorkers there. Trent Bolt 13.5 overs, 3 maidens, 53 runs and 3 wickets. Tim Southey 13 overs, 5 minutes, 1 for 34. Mitchell Santer 16 overs, 5 minutes, 2 for 36. Neil Wagner 15 overs, 3 minutes, 37. So it was a good team bowling effort there by the Kiwis. And now New Zealand was set a target of 217 runs to win in 2 sessions, one could say, almost in 2 sessions. And now it was up to the Kiwis. But the Kiwis did not have a good start. In fact, it was a very sound move, I thought, to open with the right arm offie, Mehdi Hassan Miraz, the young Miraz. And Miraz did not disappoint, but one knew that he's the one, if at all the ball turns, he could be quite a handful. And what he did is he actually got a ball to turn into Latham, and Latham was foxed by that. He was clean bowled by Mehdi Hassan Miraz for 16 with 1 boundary, and G. Travel played into the hands of Mehdi Hassan Miraz as he gave a return chance, and that meant the score read 39 for 2 at that stage, with Williamson, the captain, at the crease. and Ross Taylor joining him. Now, one was probably waiting to see what was the approach that New Zealand were going to take after losing 2 early wickets. But what really happened was something very extraordinary. We saw Kane Williamson, contrary to his nature, he had probably determined himself that they wanted to win the match, and they did not waste any time. Kane Williamson, as you know, is a very good player of spin, so he dealt with Medias and Miraz in a very firm manner, and also with Shakib Al Hasan. And after that, the pace bowlers were just easy pickings for Kane Williamson and Ross Taylor. Especially Kane Williamson was flowing with his strokes, which was good to see, and he was totally determined to get New Zealand the victory. And he went on in his merry way as he started hitting a lot of boundaries when any loose stuff or so. And also he was taking a bit of risk too to send the ball into the fence. Ross Taylor once again started off in the same vein, but he was also the one who was playing his strokes, which was good to see. And suddenly this partnership started assuming very good momentum, and definitely the writing was getting on the wall that Bangladesh were going to lose this match, as Kane Williamson went on in his merry way, and he contributed an unbeaten 104 runs in the victory. Of 90 deliveries, he hit 15 beautiful boundaries in that knock of 104. Ross Taylor made 60 of 77 deliveries, 6 fours. Henry Nicholls was there when the victory came, not out on 4, and that was it. New Zealand winning the first test match, which probably they would have never even expected, as they won the match by 7 wickets, and a very good chase by New Zealand, one thought. And Bangladesh definitely guilty of losing a test match after making 595 runs in the first innings. And let me tell you, if you go and dig into the test records, I am told that the only time this has happened was way back in 1894, when Australia scored 586 versus England and lost the match. So you could just imagine what a dismal performance from Bangladesh after totally dominating the first 2 days of cricket in this particular test match, the Basin Reserve. Let's have a look at the bowling figures. Kamral Islam Razi, 7 overs, none for 31. Mehdi Hasan Miraz, 11.4 overs, no more than 66 runs, 2 wickets. Shakir wasn't bowled well, none for 30. Taskin Ahmed, 6 overs, none for 38. Shubhashis Roy, 5 overs, 1 for 32. But I thought Bangladesh have definitely, they have really poured hot water on themselves. One could probably say, because the way they did, one really feels very sorry, and not only sorry, but also feels that Bangladesh have been in test cricket for quite a long time. There has always been a question mark as far as Bangladesh test cricket is concerned, and this is not doing them any good. So I think Bangladesh definitely needs to really do a lot of soul searching. They need to get into this, they need to see where they exactly went wrong, and so that they don't repeat any of such instances in any of the other test matches which are coming up against all other opposition. So New Zealand actually leading the 2-match series 1-0, so there's one more test match to go, and Tom Latham of New Zealand was named man of the match. So what a chase. I mean, as I said, the victory has come out of nowhere for New Zealand, and I'm sure Bangladesh have let down all their home cricket fans in back home in Bangladesh after it was a case of getting a real high and then dropping down to something very dismal. So that's what I could really summarize on as far as Bangladesh performance is concerned. So now the other cricket news that I'm going to look at is England captain Morgan, the other day after India won the match against England in the first ODI, has said that certain shots that Jadhav played really took the English captain by surprise. He said he never expected something. He probably thought that with Dhoni and Yuvraj gone, England definitely had a chance. And he said Jadhav was something which really came out of the blue and really surprised everybody there. Yes, definitely the quality of batting was superb from Deepak Jadhav, and this will go a long way in Deepak Jadhav actually cementing his place in the Indian ODI team. Now, the other news which is coming in, it's coming in from Australia. As you know, Australia would be embarking on their tour of India in the month of February, and the spinners are going to be the real challenge. They know for a fact that India will have a lot of wickets, pitches which would be doctored to actually help the spinners, as normally the home side does in all the test matches. Home side does in every test match whenever it's played in their own land. And Australia are going with they are going with some great preparation, and the news comes in that the former England spinner Monty Panesar is going to be mentoring the Australian spinners before the Indian tour. So that's going to be a lot of work done, and the spinners Ashton Agar, who has been selected, and we have Mitchell Sweepson, the leg spinner, and they also have Steve O'Keefe. So they will have some real workout under the tutelage of former great England spinner who played a few matches, as we all know, Monty Panesar. So that is the one. And also I can give you some news here from the Big Bash League that Renegades, who are languishing on the bottom of the table, have got a 6-run victory yesterday to keep their hopes alive against the Strikers. And other than that, let's talk about some Desert T20 Challenge which is happening in the United Arab Emirates, where today Afghanistan put up a very good show. The chief contributors being Rashid Khan with the wicket, and Najbullah Zadran presented a very good performance to take his team to victory as Afghanistan beat the United Arab Emirates. And also the other result was Oman continuing their good work here, as they actually got the Hong Kong rolled out for just 87 runs. So these are the news which I would like to talk about. And well, other than that, there's nothing else to really talk about. But as I said, all the eyes would be on that Bangladesh versus New Zealand, and this is something that Bangladesh would definitely love to forget. And also probably it's a lesson for Bangladesh that next time, if at all they raise a huge score on the board, they have to ensure that they don't lose the match. As I said, there could be excuses. One is Shakib Al Hasan's poor shot making on the final day, which was the key according to me, and then Mushfiqur Rahim getting hit on the head, and Imrul Case not being fully fit. So definitely that would have definitely played a role, because Shakib Al and Mushfiqur Rahim were the principal contributors in that 595 total with that record 359 run partnership. In fact, by losing this test match, all the glory with which Bangladesh covered themselves the other day with a great partnership in Bangladesh test history, totally blotted their copybook by losing this test against New Zealand. And well, I can only say Bangladesh, you have to really perk up here as far as test matches are concerned, to really show that you are good test material. Well, dear fans and subscribers, it's about time for me to wind up this cricket show by bidding you all good night.